From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now all the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily for Tuesday, August 17th. We could have some isolated showers today before better chances this afternoon, and then if you don't get any of the rain, then your chances get worse from the afternoon through the evening. Slightly warmer, more humid today. This afternoon, highs in the low to mid-80s. And a person is dead after a shooting on the west side of Indianapolis. IMPD says it happened on Michigan Street near Holt Road early this morning. According to the department, the victim had already died before officers got there. The victim hasn't been identified, and there's no word on a suspect. Now to the issues plaguing Afghanistan. At least 7 people are dead after chaos at the airport in Kabul. A video and images show thousands of Afghans rushing onto the tarmac in desperation to flee the Taliban's control over the country. You might have seen the video of people clinging to an American military jet as it was trying to take off. And as it did, people then fell to their deaths. Hundreds of Afghans were trapped between American troops trying to push them out of the airport and Taliban forces trying to keep them in. This all comes as President Joe Biden defends his decision to pull U.S. troops out of the country. Isabel Rosales has the latest.
The truth is, this did unfold more quickly than we had anticipated.
President Joe Biden admitting the collapse of Afghanistan happened rapidly, but standing squarely behind his decision to cease U.S. military operations.
I cannot and will not ask our troops to fight on endlessly in another country's civil war.
Biden blaming the Afghan government for not standing strong against the Taliban.
Afghanistan political leaders gave up and fled the country. The Afghan military collapsed, sometime without trying to fight.
Now, 20 years after U.S. forces launched Operation Enduring Freedom, the Taliban has taken back Afghanistan.
America already spent enough time in Afghanistan. They need to leave.
Spreading fear among the Afghan people.
Yesterday, I have lost everything. I don't feel secure in here.
Despite unverified reports, the Taliban has executed surrendering Afghan forces. A Taliban spokesman says Afghan civilians aren't in any danger.
We are assuring them that there will be no risk to their property, to their lives, to their honor.
The U.S. now racing to evacuate embassy personnel and Afghans who supported the mission of U.S. forces from the Kabul airport.
The time frame that we're on right now is to do that, complete that mission by August 31st.
In Washington, I'm Isabel Rosales.
And more of Indiana's lawmakers are reacting to the situation in Afghanistan. Senator Mike Braun released a video statement saying in part, it's disgraceful that we're leaving in an embarrassing way like this, reminiscent of Vietnam. Later, he says, unfortunately, this was botched by the Biden administration, and I hope they are held accountable for this. Congressman Andre Carson tweeted, the situation in Afghanistan is heartbreaking, and I'm doing everything in my power to help people there. That's why my office is working with constituents who have family in Afghanistan to assist them in any way we can, and we'll keep up those efforts. And a journalist who's spoken with Taliban members claims their views on women are changing. Clarissa Ward talked to Anderson Cooper about her experience on the ground in the country.
Every Taliban commander I have spoken to over the course of the last couple of weeks, and there's been a lot of them, has said the same resoundingly. The Taliban has changed. We learn from our mistakes. Women will be educated through high school, through university, and even beyond if they want that.
Ward says cultural norms would require the building of girls' schools to keep them separate from boys. Jack's Donuts of Fishers is honoring the lives of 3 teenagers from central Indiana who were killed in a hit-and-run crash in South Carolina. 17-year-old twin sisters, Elena and Isabella Gaddis, and 18-year-old Brianna Foster died Monday morning. Today, 100% of all sales from the Fishers Jack's Donuts location will be donated to help the girls' families. The franchise owner posted on Facebook saying they had the pleasure of personally knowing Brianna Foster, and she was an amazing young lady, and has heard the same about twins Elena and Isabella Gaddis. The owner says since the post went up, the orders have flooded in. They're not even taking online orders anymore because they've been so busy. The line this morning was wrapped around Jack's as soon as it opened up at 5:30. The Fishers mayor also released a statement saying, "I am deeply saddened to hear of the young lives lost today. These young women were members of the Hamilton Southeastern Schools and Fishers family, and their tragic loss will be felt throughout our entire community. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families of those deceased and injured in this terrible accident. I hope with this sad news that we can put our differences aside to support and mourn with the families. Our community has always taken care of one another, and I have every confidence that we can come together in this difficult moment." That was Scott Fadness. Melissa Ann Parker is facing multiple charges, including driving under the influence. Investigators say she was driving on I-26 there in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and hit a car head-on. 3 of the 4 people in the car died at the scene. The 4th person was taken to the hospital. COVID-19 booster shots for all Americans. U.S. health experts are expected to make the recommendation for a 3rd vaccine dose this week. The 3rd shot would be given 8 months after someone is fully vaccinated. And the recommendation is for everyone who is over 12 years old. The official announcement is expected to come this week. Health officials already recommended boosters for some people with compromised immune systems. The goal is to ensure lasting protection against the virus as the Delta variant spreads across the country. The plan is still new, but according to CNN, it would involve administering 3rd shots in mid to late September, pending authorization from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Pfizer and BioNTech said Monday that the companies have submitted initial data to the FDA to support the use of booster doses for their COVID-19 vaccines. CNN says U.S. officials are still gathering data for Johnson & Johnson's 1-shot vaccine, but anticipate that people who got the J&J will need booster shots as well. Today, people with compromised immune systems can already get that 3rd shot in Indiana. Vaccine clinics are being held in Indianapolis at the Excel Center, Meadows, and at the Excel Center West from 9 this morning until 1 this afternoon. No appointment is needed. The clinics are also open to anyone over 12 looking to get their 1st or 2nd shots. You will need to mask up if you're heading to the City County building and any local courts in Marion County. Face coverings are now required for everyone 2 or older, regardless of vaccination status. According to the State Department of Health, the county's positivity rate is just over 9%. Students and staff at Brownsburg Community Schools are heading to class with face coverings as well. Last night, the school board voted 4-1 in favor of a mask mandate. The board calls today a transition day. The full implementation of the mandate happens tomorrow. As News 8's Demi Johnson reports, the meeting was pretty divided.
I don't want to wear this any more than anyone else in this room does. But if it helps.
Criticism against COVID-19 protocols rang out from a fired-up crowd at a Brownsburg school board meeting. A total of 19 parents spoke during public comment. 12 against a mask mandate, 6 for, and 1 parent somewhat neutral.
Really, you have no legal authority to mandate a medical intervention. You're not licensed to practice medicine in the state of Indiana. The CDC concluded that masking is not an effective mitigation strategy to prevent transmission of the COVID virus also. So the vote to mandate masking should be a resounding no.
Masks are a key tool we have for reducing the transfer of this virus from mask wearers to others, regardless of their vaccination status. Please be willing to do what is right this week and follow the prevalent health data that you presented here tonight to keep our kids in school every single day.
The district shared data that compared last year's cases and quarantines to this year. Board members also pointed out the Hendricks County Health Department strongly recommends masks. So far, 1,181 students in Brownsburg schools have had to quarantine. The board says that accounts for well over 3,000 days of missed instruction. The conversation carried outside of the meeting where we caught up with more parents. While there were differing views on the mask mandate, parents all agreed they wanted their kids in the building as long as possible.
We are very much advocates for parental rights and parental ability to choose what for their children, and very much against indoctrination in public schools in general.
Worked last year and it's going to work this year again. I don't want to see my kids, quarantined again.
That was Demi Johnson reporting. And students in Westfield must wear masks starting tomorrow. Westfield, Washington is changing its rules just days into the school year. Leaders cite rising COVID cases from the Delta variant. Westfield is the 4th district in Hamilton County to switch to a mask mandate, joining Noblesville, Carmel, and Hamilton Southeastern. Classes started in Westfield last week. And police in Indianapolis say a tip from the community allowed them to identify the suspected driver in a deadly hit and run on the far east side. According to IMPD, a Dodge Challenger hit a man walking and didn't stop to help. Officers say it happened on East Street near Shadeland Avenue just before midnight Sunday. IMPD put a call out on social media for help finding the driver or the car. Investigators tell us that somebody called within hours and was able to identify the suspect. And the founder of an interstate viewing park is cleaning up what vandals damaged. The Idol, a point of view, overlooks the I-65, I-70 South split. You've likely seen it if you've ever driven in that area. Somebody pulled apart and spray painted the seats, just broke them to pieces. They were featured at the park's overlook, and they were from the former Busch Stadium. The park's visionary says he has plans to replace the seats somehow.
They're going to be different. They're not going to be the same seats that are there because they're out of them now. But maybe I can find seats from the football team when they tore down the Hoosier Dome. Of course I'm tired of that, but I'm tired every day, but I'm still going every day and pushing forward and trying to do, good things for our city.
Idle Park went up along the Cultural Trail 2 years ago. The nonprofit Southeast Neighborhood Development is gathering funds to help with maintenance. And a hurried defense against Tropical Depression Fred in Florida. Heavy rains and high winds are there in the southeast. The system is flooding roads, bringing down power lines, and washing out beaches. Our Storm Track 8 team tracked the storm as it made landfall in the Florida Panhandle yesterday afternoon near Cape San Blas. Many people are staying near their homes so they can jump into repairs if they're needed.
We're worried about the surge. We're worried about the docks. We're worried about locals.
Fred is one of 3 Atlantic storms the Hurricane Center is monitoring right now. And Tropical Storm Grace is drenching Haiti as the country tries to recover from Sunday's earthquake. The storm arrived yesterday, the same day Haiti's Civil Protection Agency raised the death toll to more than 1,400 people. According to the agency, 6,000 more are injured from the 7.2 quake. Officials say hospitals are so overwhelmed that many of them are still waiting for medical help outside in the heat. And more people are fleeing from a wildfire in Utah. The forecast is mixed. Flame-quenching rain is coming, but it comes with wind that could whip up the flames further. Sydney Glenn has the latest on the firefight.
We threw everything we had at it.
As the planes and helicopters fly overhead, more than 200 fire crew members are trying to get the Parley's Canyon fire fully contained.
There's definitely a threat to the homes and the structures in these 3 communities that are being threatened.
Summit Park, Lambs Canyon, and Pine Brook communities have been evacuated since Saturday afternoon.
The fire is probably closest to Summit Park, and that's where a lot of the containment efforts were made yesterday. And it is within, it's within a mile, so it's close.
We're not watching the neighborhood burn right now. Prayers that stays that way.
Chris Griffin is staying at a campsite, trying to stay positive.
It's replaceable, though. People, dogs, pets, that's not replaceable. We have insurance.
As firefighters continue to battle this blaze from the ground and the air, they hope people will be back in their homes soon.
The big concern is letting people in too soon. When the fire is not contained in critical areas, and then having the fire flare up and threaten those homes again.
The New York Assembly Judiciary Committee is moving forward with its sexual harassment investigation of Governor Andrew Cuomo. The effort comes after an announcement that the investigation would be suspended when Cuomo resigned. According to the Assembly Speaker, the efforts will not interfere with other investigations into the state's nursing home data or the governor's memoir. The U.S. Postal Service is looking to hire more mail carriers before the holiday peak season. According to USPS, the service needs city carrier assistants, rural carrier associates, and assistant rural carriers. Today's job fair runs from 10 to 6. It's being held at the Batesville Public Library on North Walnut Street. Head coach Frank Reich is describing the progress quarterback Carson Wentz is making to return from injury. Wentz and lineman Quentin Nelson are both recovering from foot surgery. The team originally said they could be out 5 to 12 weeks, but reports last week indicated that the two are on pace to possibly return for the season opener in 4 weeks. Reich says walkthroughs will happen soon.
He'll start throwing some, and, and then we'll advance that as we can, right? He could sit down, anybody, when you say start throwing, that could mean a lot of different things. So, he's been sticking to a plan. That plan has been going well. We're happy where he's at right now. And, we'll just look forward to updating you guys as we go along and as, we get further along in the process.
The Colts travel to Minnesota for their second preseason game Saturday. Sam Ehlinger is set to start at quarterback. A beloved voice of the 500 will keep helping one of his favorite places long after his passing. Following a memorial service at the track, a fund in Bob Jenkins' name is set up to help Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum. Friends, fans, and fellow broadcasters honored the former voice of the 500 with a memorial ceremony Monday. He died last week after a battle with brain cancer. Another longtime voice of the 500, Paul Page, spoke about his friend.
First and foremost, though, Bob was a gentle man. He was a man who ascended to the top of his profession, but Bob walked with the common touch. If you met him on the street, he didn't act like a big star. He was Bob, humble Bob.
Bob Jenkins spent 9 years as the lead announcer for the race on the radio, then did the same for several more races on television. And finally, to business headlines, new evidence links music choices and stock returns. The London Business School says Spotify listening data predicts consumer spending. It theorizes that people choose music based on their mood and will pick upbeat, happier songs during strong economic times. Speedway has put 166 former Speedway, Super America, Hess, and Tesoro gas station sites and parcels of undeveloped land in 22 states up for sale. The properties span several states, mainly in the Midwest. Speedway didn't say exactly why it's selling the gas stations, but 30 of the Speedway properties are for sale in Indiana and Kentucky. Discount supermarket chain Aldi aims to hire more than 20,000 workers in the United States this year. This as its network grows and as it prepares for holiday shopping. Jobs that Aldi is hiring for include cashiers, stockers, and associates at its more than 2,100 American stores and its 25 warehouses. Walmart is the latest Fortune 500 company hiring a cryptocurrency expert. The position will be based in Walmart's Arkansas headquarters and responsible for developing the retailer's digital currency strategy and product roadmap, as well as identifying crypto-related investment and partnerships. Tesla is under investigation because its self-driving cars keep hitting emergency vehicles. The National Highway Transportation Safety Administration said 7 of the accidents resulted in 17 injuries and 1 death. The accidents under investigation happened between January 22nd of 2018 and July 10th, 2021, across 9 different states. They took place mostly at night, and the post-accident scenes all included control measures like first responder vehicle lights, flares, an illuminated aerial board, and road cones. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.